I see a lot of women that will walk into my office of all various shapes and sizes. And it's a very similar struggle. No matter what weight they're at, no matter what they're doing with food, it is never good enough. And that
Right.
is in psychology what we like to call is the negative core belief. But that is actually put in us, that doesn't come from inside of us. That's actually put in us by Satan. And the
Mhm.
trap that we get into is that when Satan plants those seeds, and for some of us, those seeds begin really, really young,
Mhm.
that when we don't know what to do with it because we're too young, because we're immature, because no one is able to speak to us about what we're experiencing, or we're not able to speak about what it is that we believe inside of our head, what happens is that thought kind of takes root and it takes a stronghold, especially when I begin to act on that thought.
Mhm.
Um, and so when we look at this through the lens of psychology, and this is where I love bringing this in because even the Bible talks about this. Corinthians 10:5 states that we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself against the knowledge of God, right? So the knowledge of God and what God put in us was that we were complete and we were made perfect by his sacrifice.
Right.
And what happens then is that Satan, because he's so jealous, wants to move against that. He wants to move against God's grace. He wants to move against what it is that God's doing in us. And he wants to kind of convince us that there's something wrong with us. And when we reinforce that, and in psychology, the phrase is called sublimation. So when I'm experiencing something negative inside of me, a negative feeling like shame or sadness or loneliness,
Mhm.
and I don't know how to cope with it. And many of us don't. I would say a grand majority of us on this planet, we're not given emotional skill sets as children. It's not taught in schools. Our
Right.
parents generally don't know. Our grandparents didn't know. That what happens then is that my brain, to try to stay defended of that, it's called a psychological defense mechanism, is it defends me by then creating something else for me to focus on that feels more manageable.